joking because I'm definitely live and I just said that shit. I'm definitely live and I just said that. Today, for the midday reset with Danielle HueVine. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It is 2 o'clock and we are doing our midday reset. Wait for some more people to get in. Hi, where are you from? Hi. Hi, guys. Welcome to Midday Reset. Where are you from? If you are new here, just let me know where you're from. If you are a part of our international audience, what country are you calling from? Well, you ain't calling nowhere. What country are you from? That's funny. I just thought of a whole TV show in my head. What country are you calling from? Hi, guys. All right. So, last week we spoke about, let me see. I'm trying to bring up my runner show for today. And I wanted to talk more about the behind the scenes of owning a spa and or owning a business and how it affects you emotionally, mentally, financially. Like, it's a lot. And I think this is one of the things that people don't really speak about. And this wasn't even my plan for today's episode, and we're going to talk about it all week. But India and I were just talking about how when she owned a suite, it was just extremely hard for her. Y'all want to hear what she was saying? India, what you was saying? Hey, Ling, what were you saying? So I'm kind of prefacing them on why we're going to talk about this, and then it kind of just made me just start going on a tangent about owning your own business and still having to deal with life, finances, emotions, children, family. It's a lot, and I want to talk about stuff that people don't really talk about, and it's kind of making me feel a little weird because that means that I'm going to have to get slightly vulnerable and tell you guys about the exacts of things that I have been through and people that I know that own spas and what they have been through, because it can be very taxing and on several different layers. So we're gonna kick it off. I'm gonna ask India a couple questions, and then you'll know that it kind of could be a consensus between spa owners and people or people who try to enter the beauty business, where a lot of times it is seen as beauty is just, it's a spa, so it's just fun. It's about making people look pretty. It's about having a great time. Everything smells good. Everything looks good. It's colorful. It's nice. It's frilly. It's pretty. And that is not what the spa industry actually is. Not even to a little bit. That's what it is for the client. That is not what the spa industry actually is to the owners and the technicians. I'm gonna hear because she don't want to be on camera, y'all. Okay,
My
so
hair not done, y'all.
okay, she going somewhere tomorrow. Okay, so what do you feel like yours? Because I did the suites before, because that's how I got here. I had my own suite, and then I owned suites, and then I rented out the rooms, and then I came up to a spa, and then now I have a med spa. So what do you feel like your experience was? Because if you don't know, India used to work here previously, and then she went out on her own, and she was such a good person to be around that India came back. I don't do that all the time. You gotta have a nice personality, because some of them I'll be like, you can never come back, you know. But what do you think? How it differs from your experience of owning your own business, your own suite, versus working in a team environment?
For me, it made me realize I honestly do not like everything being on me. Like, I do not like having to wake up and be like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. I prefer it to be like a teamwork environment where I got somebody here that I could count on, person here I can count on, we doing it together. But me just having to do it all on my own, there's things like I'm like, that's not getting done. And that's not getting done. Then it's like, it's to the point where I'm not even putting everything I could into the business because I just don't feel like doing it. I'm realizing, like, the more I went on, it's like I enjoy it, but it's like, I enjoy the work itself. I enjoy being an esthetician. I like wax. I like doing facials. I love it all. But it was taken away from that love for me, having to run the business too. I'm like, mm-mm.
So do you think that if you can go back in hindsight, that anything would have made it better for you?
Honestly, no. Honestly, no. It's just not for me. Like, I used to always think, oh yeah, I want to have my own spa. I want to have my own spa, be a business owner. But now it kind of made me realize, like, that's not for everybody. And that's okay.
It is. It really
okay.
is. Yeah.
I'm glad I realized it now, though, because I'm like, no, I'm fine without being no business owner. I don't got to do that. I'm okay with that. It's not for me. I want to do it again.
Do you think the how I spoke about when I first opened up about this, about the side of making the clients feel good, that's the reason why you got into it. And once you learned that that was not the business side of it, how do you think that played into it?
That was probably like the biggest thing for me. Or even like, you will say, like, it's like certain things, like, people will tell you a little bit, it's hard running a business, it takes time to build it up. But it's like when you actually in it and you see everything, it's like, okay, honestly, I'm doing this, I'm not making no profit. Right now, I'm just doing it to be doing it. And it kind of felt more like I said, a hustle. Like, oh yeah, I do know how to wax, I got my license, but right now it's just like, oh yeah, come in this day, I get you in, get you out, oh, I made $60 today, and that's all I made. But this rent here, they want $650, and I gotta pay that. So that's just coming out like me working too. Like, I gotta work a job too, and that's just my check just going towards that. And I made $60 for a wax. I only had one appointment this week, basically.
Do you think that if you liked to, or you disciplined yourself a little bit more to just do the back end work without actually liking it, it would have made it easier for you if you think you would have got more discipline behind that part?
Probably, yeah. And it was a point where I feel like when I first started it, I was real disciplined, but the more I just went on with it, and I don't know if it was like too the environment I was in took away from me. If depression played a part in it, where it was just like I don't feel like putting that much into it. I just don't got it in me right now. I don't want to promote. I don't want to market. It's like it is what it is. I might make a post. Then it was like it was always discount this, discount that, discount that, just to get people in, and I'm like. Half the time, like in the space I was in too at the time, it was with another person, and I didn't want to be around them. So it was like it made me not even want to go up there and work now because I'm like I know they might be up there. I don't want to be in that space right now. It made me not want to go up there and work.
I always wonder what's the feeling because I know what it felt like back then, and I guess we all, I want to say I didn't have a choice. We all have a choice. But I was kind of in this space to, when I started my career and really like went into the suites, girl, I think I was just going and wasn't thinking. I think I was building and I wasn't even thinking about what I was doing. Not in a good way, or not in a bad way, but in the like, I kind of say I fell into this.
Okay.
So it was like, oh, I was always goal oriented, but me going with it was not like, I wasn't seeing past the present. I was looking to the future, but I wasn't planning to the future.
That makes sense.
Does it?
It do make sense. You wasn't looking
because I just looked up and I was like, oh my God, I got a whole spa.
You're right.
And it wasn't like one day I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna own this beautiful big old spa. It wasn't that. I just kind of got into work mode, and like you said, the stuff that you didn't like, it just became second nature to the point where I became kind of obsessed about it. And because I was obsessed about it, stuff was just happening without me actually saying I'm going to actively work towards owning a spot. It just was like, okay, well, I've been doing this for this long, I'm kind of capped at what I'm doing, so I gotta go to the next level.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, I'm kind of capped at this level, I gotta go to the next level. So it was like I kind of kept doing it at first it was about money, and then it was like, oh shoot, I actually know how to run this business.
Right.
And then I started getting more clients, and I was like, well, I'm gonna open up my own office. And then I was capped because I don't know if I was pregnant at that time. I don't want to mess up the timeline, but on getting my own office, I was like, okay, well, what's next? Now I need to have people come work for me. So then I got the suites. And then once I got in the suites, then I was like, well, now, to be honest, I don't think a lot of people know about this, is that when you own suites, you are not even a salon owner. You are really a property management company and a landlord. And I didn't know that. So then I went into now I'm fixing stuff, and it's taking money out of my pocket because I gotta fix her plumbing in her room. Her sink is clogged up because she got hair going down the sink, and this person coming in, she done broke this, and I'm maintaining the property more than I wanted to.
Yeah.
And you know how I am. I don't do nothing I don't want to do. So I was like, this is not what I got into this for.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it was gonna be easy money. And it didn't take until me almost hitting 40. Well, I'm not 40 yet, but I want to say the last 4 or 5 years to when I realized that no money is easy money.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing that the internet has about the spa industry, about owning a business, about being in business for yourself, is that if you open up a business or start a business, essentially it's going to be easy money, and you are going to make $1 million, and it's just going to be, no, yeah, it can happen. I'm not saying it can't happen. However, it takes a lot of work and a lot of sacrifice from somebody. So I guess that was me getting your perspective, because I feel like when I say it, it's not received like that because I am the business owner, and people kind of got to go through it to see what I was saying. I wasn't lying.
Yeah. Definitely.
Did you think, like when I used to tell you this before you started, before you went out on your own, that what did you think? Be honest.
Be honest.
Yeah, when I used to be like, India, like this is how it's gonna think about this, look at this, da, da, da. I never told you what not to do.
No, yeah.
I just ain't lie.
No, wasn't no lies told. wasn't not one lie. So yeah, cause I'll be doing something and you would just always come on my mind. So
For real?
yeah, I'll be like, cause I'm like, I know my girl, she was grinding up in her suite. So I was trying to get in that mindset, like, okay, she told me it's not gonna be easy. It's like you building up a clientele, trying to find, especially when it's like. When you think about it, our line is kind of saturated.
It wasn't saturated when I first started.
And now
I don't know how I could have did it. I don't know how I could have did it.
I be on like just looking online. I see girls that's not even licensed, didn't go to school, they doing it, and they got more clientele than me. And I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, what am I doing different than what they doing? Where they didn't even go to school, they're not even licensed to do this, and they got the clientele. But then I'm like, it was like more so a popularity thing. Like if they already had and knew a lot of people. They already got a good following on their individual, like personal pages. You know, like I feel like it's a popularity thing with that too. But yeah, no, it's a very saturated field. Sometimes I tell myself like, you can't think like that though, because people gonna come to who they want to come to. If they really like you, they come back, they tell people about you. But it's just like I look up everywhere, everybody waxing, everybody waxing,
everybody doing facials.
Not an esthetician. Yeah. They just doing it to make money.
So that being said, what's the one thing that really stuck out in your mind that I told you about before you went out on your own, and once you experienced, you was like, this is what the F she was talking about?
I would say more than anything, I was thinking in my head like, I don't see how she was doing this. I'm stressed about this sweets.
That's about to make me cry. See, this is why I never want to talk about this. Go ahead, you can.
No, honestly, I always just say, I said, I don't see how she's doing that, because me trying to maintain a suite, I'm just overstimulated. I'm just, and my girl, you would never look stressed to me. You would just keep it pushing. Yeah. If anything happened, and I'd be like, ooh, how's she gonna handle it? What's she about to do about this? But you never just gave up like, oh my goodness, it's over. What am I about to do? You was always composed. And it always just worked out for you without you. Like, I never really seen you stressed, if that makes sense. Like, I never seen you stressed out, worried about anything at all. So, in my head, I'm like, how? I'm like, and she a mom? I'm not even a mom. She got a kid. I don't got no kid. And I'm over here just stressed and over it. And she get up every day. She come here herself. Because even when I was here, remember for a time, you wasn't even waxing or doing services. But I'm like, she was always in here. Like, this is her business. You know, most people be like, oh, I got somebody else over there. I'm not going in. You will be here every single day.
Yeah. That's why, that's what I said. I guess I will talk about the emotional, you can move that if you want, the emotional and mental side of owning your own business and how stressful that it really could be. So when you talk about like y'all wouldn't see when I was going through stuff or when I was stressing. Girl, when y'all used to be here, and I'm very transparent, I used to be in eviction court half the time. I used to have to choose between paying my bills for here or paying my bills for home. So it was a point in time where I was in. It was a point in time where I was every other month. I was either in eviction court for here or eviction court for my house.
Okay, and see, never would have knew.
Never would have knew it because I had to keep working. So, and it wasn't that we were not making money and we didn't have clients coming in. It's just that the overhead, when you are building a business and putting everything into it, it becomes so high that the more clients you get in, the more the disposable bill goes up. So now you go from buying a case of wax, now you buying 2 and 3 cases of wax.
Yeah.
And you're buying more gauze, you're buying more this, you're buying more that. The water usage is going up. Like everything essentially starts to increase once you start making money. So that's why people say like you could really lose it in scaling, because once you start to grow, the bills grow, the environment grows, everything grows. And you can be, for me, I used to be stressing out about still providing, still living life, still taking care of my child, paying personal bills at home, and growing the business and still putting any profits that I made from the business directly back into the business. And then on top of that, you have to deal with, you are managing people. And then you heard what India said, that I would be going through stuff and they would just be like, Well, it don't seem like it because she's not wearing it on her sleeve. What you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to wear it on your sleeve, but it's a very emotionally taxing environment. And even like when she spoke about how was I doing it when I was in the suite by myself, I gave up my personal life. That's how I did it. Um, to really push it and grow my business to where I am now, I gave up my personal life. I didn't go out. Um, I dated from time to time, but not for real. Um, yeah, I would meet people, but immediately, like it had to have value, or I had to see the value immediately, or I just wouldn't even bother. I stopped hanging around my family. I stopped hanging around my friends, not because I didn't want to be around them. I started to weigh the growing of my business and putting time and energy into the systems and the marketing. At that time, I was making all the graphics, making the product. Um, Again, you heard me say I was managing the space, so the fixing of things, or I would have paid somebody to come in and do the fixing of things. And I was a one woman show, so how did I have time to have a social life? Because I really felt guilty anytime that I was away from my business and not growing my business, and hanging out, I was taken away from my future. And that's how I looked at it. I looked at it was just straight up work mode. So every single day I would go home, I would do my full day of clients, and I would immediately go pull out my computer, take out my computer. I would either do a blog post to update to drive more traffic to my website. I would do graphics, excuse me. I would do some marketing like ads, or it was a constant every single day, 7 days a week. And even the days where I wasn't accepting clients and like taking clients appointments for that day, I was at home building my online presence. And it was extremely I guess I would kind of say sad, because I feel like I did give up my 20s. I've lived a lot of life. I'm not going to say like I didn't enjoy the time that I did take for myself or do things, but it's a lot of sacrifice that comes with owning a business. And I kind of made myself get used to the day to day, grind of the business, and a lot of things go on. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm talking in circles because I'm trying not to. I try to be transparent, but I don't want to tell everybody every little thing. And we're gonna talk about more so what else. I just feel like I spoke about the invisible stressors, and even with clients, you will be going through stuff. I will be going through times where, like I said, we were about to get evicted. We've been here 8 years now. That was years ago. I will be going through eviction court. I will be going through stuff with my landlord, and the clients couldn't know. The employees couldn't know. You got to come in here. You got to keep smiling. You have to. You can't let them know that you're shaking in your ship. You got to make them all think that it's still going to be great, because everything has just always worked out for me because I've just always worked diligently to make things work out. So if we don't got no money, if we are low on certain things, we having a sale, baby. We're having a sale until I, got to a higher place in business where I learned how to navigate that a little bit better. But it's just always been an emotional thing. And I really can't say about the balance and everything of, you got to just go all in. I really don't have nothing to say. But one thing I can say that has made me feel very good over the years is that the traumas and the things that you go through with owning a business, of course, don't nobody care. And you don't want nobody to care. I don't want nobody to feel bad for me. I don't want employees to feel bad for me. I don't want vendors. I don't want nobody to feel bad for me. But the space that has really helped me is when you hear other spa owners speaking online, and you find a community of people like it's just not happening to you, and that this is just a part of the growing pains until you figure out how to make it not be a part of the growing pains. So that's just like an amazing thing, like even with hiring employees. So imagine like all that stuff I just spoke about, that was a big stressor on personal life, my love life, my home life, because the more I work, the more I'm at work, the more I'm away from my child. And then now you're dealing with the layer of the employees and managing people. Baby, this business done try to take me out a few times, but essentially, that's just the stress of being a business owner and being behind the scenes. And that's stuff that people don't know about, don't want to know about, and they don't care about. Nobody care about the person that's at the top. Nobody care about the person that's making money. So when you are in these spaces, just keep going. That's why I say that all the time. If you follow me on any socials and you notice I always say keep going, because don't nobody care. No one cares. Everybody got problems. Don't nobody care about your struggles. Don't nobody care about the business that you decided to open up on your own, and now you are feeling the stress of owning that business and being responsible for employees, your children, being responsible for people. No one cares about how you feel about it. So like what India said, they would come in here and she just like didn't know, like I was going through stuff, but they would never see it because no one cares. No one cares, and you need to know that. So if you are in business, it don't got to be the spa industry. You just got to keep it going. Keep going. Something happened, you in eviction court, what you gonna do? Fall on the ground, ball up, and just, oh my God, what I'm gonna do? No. Make a plan and work through it. Make a action-based plan, something that you can implement and do right now. And usually it's always sales. When I say sales, it's not just sales on products, but you going into sales mode to bring in more money to the business. No one cares what you're going through, baby. I don't know if anybody ever told you that, but no one cares. So you got to keep going and you got to figure it out. The biggest opportunity that I have right now is getting having business mentors is one thing, which I have, but having a business mentor in the spa industry that understands what I'm going through and does it at a higher level instead of constantly chasing, because that's our industry. You chase sales. It's an influx of sales. You do an influx of leads. You get the leads coming in, and then now you're converting the leads, bringing them in for consultations, getting them by packages. That is how you get to for profitability in the spa industry. But there has to be a next level system past that, and that's where I'm at, where I'm trying to figure out what's the next level past chasing that aspect, because that part is figured out for us. What's the next part? I heard this lady online talking about how she got her spa to 7 figures. She was a seven-figure spa. She was still broke. I was like, what? Like, you were a seven? How, ma'am? How? Not how saying that she's lying, but like, how do I avoid that? How do I avoid that pitfall? So, it's very stressful. Yeah. So just say, you should just be up here and stuff. You should just be happening and breaking and da 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 da. Hi Zainab. Anything that happens, it just is what it is. So if you're just joining me, we're talking about the stressors of owning your own business, owning your own med spa, and the emotional stressors. It was a very humbling experience for me throughout the last few years, because it really put me in the space of caring, and not, I won't even say a few years, but since I've been here owning the full spa, nobody coming to save you, so no one cares. Not saying like, oh my God, no one cares about me, but real talk, no one cares. No one's thank you so much for being here. Like, no one cares. No one's coming to save you. And once I learned lessons, I share. If I learn a lesson, hey y'all, guess what? I figured out. Ain't nobody coming to save us, so we gotta save ourselves. I'm gonna tell other people, because in my mind, I'm like, maybe they do know it, maybe they don't know it, maybe they've already figured it out, maybe they haven't. But because I'm around so many people of all ages, I speak out what I have learned, and I don't hoard stuff. So like I said, I used to share stuff with my employees of what it looks like, and I used to always be very reluctant in sharing my experiences owning a business, owning the med spa, because I don't want I don't ever want a person to think that I am trying to discourage them from doing it. I just wish that certain things people would have told me, not because I wasn't going to go through it, because I was still going to go through it, right? But so that I could know what it looks like when I come up against it. You know, so like when I asked her, like, what's the one thing that you thought about? She was like, I thought about how you used to just like never let nothing hit you or never let nothing see. But when I used to share it with them, sometimes some of the women will receive it as I didn't want them to succeed on their own. And I wasn't that. I was just trying to share with them what I went through. I was trying to, hi, Aman. I was trying to share with them what I went through so that way when they come against it, they won't fall to pieces. When you think that a situation is particular just for you and you are the only one that's going through it and you don't have anybody to bounce it off of and or to talk about, it can not all in all instances with all people, but it can make you feel like this is happening to you. It has never happened to anyone else, and you are going to fail, ball up, and baby, it's the stress of it. So that's why I speak and talk about what I have been through, because I'm not embarrassed. I don't care that anybody knows like about certain things. And certain things I'm doing great. Certain things I don't share, not because I don't want to share, but it's still an open wound and it made me want to cry. Like the stress of owning the business, like it's very emotional for me because I have to keep going to have people dependent on me when I'm growing the business actively at the same time. So yeah, my little emotions be my little emotions be all over the place. That's what people like. You don't want to date. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do. No, I don't want to do none of that. I really don't, because that's energy I got to take away from what I want to create. When that's energy, no, I don't want to. Not right now at this time. So yeah, y'all. I don't know how we just fell into. I know how we fell into this. It's India talking to me about her not wanting to go out on her own because she enjoys the work aspect of the spa industry, just not the actual work. I like this little hair too, y'all. It's so flowy and free. It reminds me of bed hair. My custom little bangs. But okay, so let's see some more questions that I have. I'm pulling questions from my other platforms too, where people ask me about an invisible stressor that it used to overtake me in being in this industry is being scared that you are not on the correct path. You know that you're on the path and you don't know what the path is. Not a straight line, right? You whipping and going in circles, you're doing this, you're doing that, da, 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 da. But it's like at a point, an invisible stressor for me is I'm tired of going the wrong way or doing the wrong things. I'm talking to mentors, I'm taking classes, I'm having experts help me, but all of a sudden when they do it for me, it don't work. All of a sudden when I pay them these thousands of dollars, this don't work for me. Even though I just sat here, I did the program, I worked it out, and that's an invisible stressor for me, is being a person who wants to grow, who seeks help, who pays for help, and I still don't get the results that these vendors or experts or whoever promise. That's a big stressor because you have to seek help. You can't do everything on your own. I don't know how to do ads, so I have to seek an ad professional. I could teach myself, but that's thousands of dollars in teaching yourself when you just want to make money. I don't want to become an ad professional. So why I got to teach myself how to do this from scratch and waste thousands of dollars trying to figure it out? But then you go to somebody who has done that and then you still don't get the results that they promise. Or you go to somebody for PR and you don't get PR, but you still have to keep putting yourself out there. We get scammed. We get flat results, meaning the results didn't work. Time goes, and keep in mind that every time you work with a professional, it takes time. So it's going to take you time to realize that the person that you're working with can't get you the results. So now you wasted time, energy, and money. But guess what? You can't climb up and not work with other people. You got to figure it out, go off of referrals, and work with somebody else. And I've yet to get to the place where to have outside help is really helping us. Even with social media, we used to contract social media outside of the spa, and it would never work. So now we do all social media in-house, because when we used to contract it out with people who had portfolios and results, and they work with this person, they work with that person, and they will be posting for us, and those posts would never get engagement. They would never go anywhere. And basically they would sell you a space of where you just got to be consistent for a while, and then eventually it'll work, and it wouldn't work. So we had to bring social media back in-house. We had to bring it back in-house. So that's one of the factors, is trusting people to help you build your business. You have to go out and seek help. You have to. You have to. Or you're not going to grow. You're not going to grow. What can I do? Like, okay, I paid this man for ads. He's been doing ads for us for 2 months. The ads didn't work. So I'm going to break my contract with him, because he promised me that the ads will start working in week 3, right? And now, because you got to go through a learning phase, but then now time has went by, and guess what you going to do? You going to stop running ads? No, you going to have to figure it out. So that is a stressor that business owners experience that people don't want to talk about, because you're just constantly failing. That was a failure working with that person. But I know now there's certain things that I won't accept as a standard. I'm not paying you for 3 months of work up front. I'm not doing it because I'm not receiving results. I don't do that. So now if it's an agency that wants you to pay for 3 and 6 months up front, I'm not the person to work with, because I refuse to do it because of my past experiences. Now, there's some coaches and some, agencies that won't work, but it don't work for me because of my past experiences. So that's one of the invisible stressors that we have about being business owners. And let's see what else. Oh, how do I keep showing up for clients when I feel overwhelmed from owning a business, and the stressors of the back side of business, and I still have to show up in face and be nice, be kind to them, have manners, making sure that they are having a great time and they receive tip-top service, is I found a way to just laugh through everything and joke through everything. And I probably tell inappropriate jokes sometimes, not to my clients, but I have an inappropriate joke conversation. Me and my friend just talked about this yesterday, science, where we think certain things are funny that other people don't think funny. And I had to genuinely adapt that to where laughing at everything, because if I didn't, I would break down all the time from owning the business. I'll break down all the time. So I just kind of just found a way to make work fun. We all got to work, right? Every single person that's in this chat right now and on this live, we all have to work. So to go to work and be upset, be stressed out, when that's a big chunk of your day, almost every day of your life, if now you have your off days, you're making yourself sad about stuff you can't do anything about. And if you are taking action on the stuff that is stressing you out, all you can do is hope and pray and work toward the result that whatever you're doing is going to get you through. So that's how I deal with it and still show up for clients, is I make everything fun. I make everything a joke. I talk to them about life. It's not always about business. Yeah, they come in here to get services, but we may talk about our nails. We may talk about stuff we're going through in life. I basically make it my girl time, or just time for me to have social interactions with people. And I use that as a getaway. So I'm going to sit in this room. We're going to talk about TV shows. We're going to talk about vacations. We're going to talk about retreats that are going on. We're going to talk about books. We are going to talk about social things. So I don't really need to hang out or have a big social life, because I socialize at work all day. And we go back and forth and talk. So I just made work about socializing. And that is what helps me to, when I'm overwhelmed with work, is to just, I don't take it out on people. I could be going through stuff, but nobody's ever going to know. Unless you're that close to me and you know me on a personal level, then you'll know something is going on because you will kind of catch it. But have fun. If you're going through something, I know that sounds absolutely crazy. If you're going through something, just laugh and have fun. What? You sound like a psychopath. But that's what I do, y'all. I ain't gonna hold you up. I'm gonna definitely tell a joke at the most inappropriate times. I'm definitely gonna laugh while I gotta sign this paperwork later on. Because at the end of the day, I know that it's going to always work out for me, and it's not happening to me. It's just making my situation better. And it's a lesson that I'm either going to continue to learn, or I'm going to learn it and go over that hump. So that's why I just try to stay very positive and very optimistic about everything. Everything. That's how I worked it out being a business owner. Straight optimism. What decisions do you make daily that nobody sees? It's hot. The weather in Michigan is hot. It's hot right now. It's very hot. It's I won't say so hot, but I saw an indicator on my computer that says that we got some hot days coming. So we're gonna go to the beach. Not the beach. Not the beach. I don't go to the beach in Michigan because that water's kind of dirty. Cool and nighttime. Oh wow, that's so nice. Well, I'm gonna go to the water park with him. Take him to the water park. But yeah. So what daily decisions do I make that no one sees? What daily decisions do I make that no one sees? I don't know. I think they all are normal. All the decisions that I make right now are like, I've been doing it for so long. Like, what daily decisions do I make? That nobody sees. If I want to be late for work. Every day that bed, I'm still human, boy. Every day that bed feels so amazing that I do not want to. And it's not that I don't want to get out the bed because I don't have goals or anything. I just like the plushness and like the feeling of being like cloaked up in the bed. I love laying in the bed. That's one of my things to do. It's very comfortable for me, and it's not even about sleeping. It's just about just being cocooned up under the covers. And usually this like temperature is super cold outside of my covers, so I make that decision every day to make sure this business is open on time. I know that's very weird. It's probably not a good enough answer because the rest of the stuff I go through, I don't know. It's just business at this point. It's just business. It's just at this point, it's business. My next space is I need to get a coach that one lady talking about she made it 7 figures and was still broke. Baby, I need somebody who made 8 and is making money. So if anybody in this chat know a coach that's making 8 and making money, point me to the next direction. Oh, so this is a very, very good question that when you are a business owner and you make when you are a business owner and you make it look easy because people, like she said, she didn't know all of the stuff was going on because I didn't wear my heart on my sleeve. I wasn't telling everybody everything because it's not their business. Their business is to come to work, do a great job, make sure the clients are good, but you don't share stressors with people around you. You just don't. It's just like I would never tell my son that we're going through something in our household when it's not his business and there's nothing he could do about it. You just don't share that type of stuff. But at the same time, I think that goes into the same space of proximity will make people think that situations are much easier than they are because you're owning a spa, you have a business, and you're dealing with all this stuff. They're gonna get the phone out there. You're dealing with all this stuff. You're making all these decisions, and at the same time, you she got the phone. Um, What was I talking about? Okay, so people assume that your job is easy when you own a spa because you don't wear your heart on your sleeve, you don't share the stressors. Oh, she went to the bathroom. I gotta pause this. How do I pause this? I'm gonna turn the mic off. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so the last question: What happens when people think that what happens when people think that your job is easy and they are close to you and they're not experiencing the stresses from the business, but they're seeing the business grow. They're seeing more clients come in. They're seeing more sales happening in the spa environment, and they're close to you, but they don't see the stressors of the business. That in itself will make a technician or an employee think that it's very, very easy to run a business because they don't understand the stressors. So when you are a person that just handles the situations, the bills, the inventory, because you have everything, you in your mind, you're just on autopilot. You know how to do everything. You got systems, you got auto pays, you got this one, you got that one. They don't know that behind you is a big old ball of chaos that's keeping this business going. And you got this big old ball of an explosion and chaos and control. It's controlled chaos nonetheless. This big old ball of controlled chaos behind you, and this is you. Hey y'all, how you doing? How's your sales going today? You having a good day? You want to go to lunch on time? You want to take this walk in? Oh yeah, me and Rome had a great weekend. We went to the zoo. You're experiencing all of these things, but you're still keeping that face. Not because you're faking, not because you're hiding, but because you have learned how to deal with the stressors of running a business. So to them, it's easy peasy. Easy peasy. And they don't understand that it's not. So that's when you get people that are entitled, people who try to snake you, or people who try to start diminishing your authority in the when they're toxic employees. Some employees, they appreciate it. That's why I only like to hire individuals. I only like to hire individuals who have worked in their own suite and they understand the stressors that it takes to run a suite. And those are the individuals that I like to hire because they don't kick back on you so much, or because they know what it really takes. So they appreciate you. So yeah, people being close to you and thinking that it's easy, it will sometimes, depending on the person, it will create a sense of entitlement. It will create an environment to where it's been times where they basically, if she can do it, I can do it. So now I'm going to sit around here and I'm going to be a problem. I'm going to feel like I deserve more than the work I'm putting in. You're doing the facial, which is you're an amazing technician. You are doing an amazing job, and you are a cog in the system that's keeping this all going together. You're keeping the clients happy. You're getting a great result. You're keeping a great service. You are keeping our reputation going. But it's so much more than just doing the service, and that is what people experience. And once they find out about the spa industry, that, like she said, she didn't want to do it. Once she found out the chaos that is behind the smile, the chaos that is behind the customer service, once they experience that, they don't want to live it, because it is chaos. It is very stressful. It's extremely stressful. I'm not saying that they can't do it. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm not saying anybody can't do it, because if I can do it, you can do it. But just be prepared for the chaos, that the control chaos that is happening behind you while you're still living your daily life, while you're still building relationships, while you still have to go outside of the spa to build. That's why I speak so much about confidence building. If I didn't have the confidence to keep going and to keep trying, y'all think I would just keep going out and seeking more help and telling myself that I can do it? I would have been like, you know what, I can't do this a long time ago. And I would have quit a long time ago if I didn't boost myself up with my confidence. Confidence don't have nothing to do with looks. It doesn't have anything to do with anything external. It is all a mental mindset to make me keep going. Because I don't put in all this work. Why would I quit now? I've put in all this work thus far. Why would I quit now? It will be no benefit. Even going live, right? This is my third week going live at 2 o'clock every day. I go live to build up with these talks, to interact with people. If they can ask me questions about skincare, questions about confidence building, questions about business, questions about wellness, anything that people want to ask me. I read this morning that it takes anywhere from 12 months to 36 months for you to finally start gaining traction on doing daily lives. Who would do that? It's 36 months. Worst case scenario. It's a year, 2 years, 6 months, whatever it is or is supposed to be. What else do I got to do? So I'm going to take an hour in my day, build my audience, talk about what I want to talk about, what I have value in, and help people. If I can, I can. If I can't, I can't. But I'm going to do it. And that's the mindset that you have to have when you decide that you want to own a business, because it's a ball of chaos behind you. And you're going to learn that. And sometimes you got to walk through that ball of chaos. So, whew, that was our talk for today. Let's get one last question in. And how do I make peace with being unappreciated? I make peace with being unappreciated in my environment, in my relationships, with appreciating myself, knowing how good I am, knowing how, damn braces, I make, when I feel like when I'm not appreciated or people don't see my value in my space, I remove myself. I don't have time for that, because now I'm going to play in my own mental, and I'm going to allow people to play in my mental, and I'm not going to do that. So I am going to make peace, value myself, and if I can't remove myself from the situation, I'll remove myself from the presence of that person, because I need my energy, I need my mental, I need my energy to keep going. I'm not about to deal with nobody or they don't value me. Well, how do you deal with people who don't value you? I don't. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to play the harp or perform for them until they see my value? No. I'm not going to perform for people until they see my value. So, dealing with people being underrepresented or, I'm sorry, underappreciated in your space and dealing with that is you remove your resources. And once you remove your resources, they're going to see how valuable you really are. So today we almost done. We got 5 minutes left. If people do not appreciate you, remove your resources. Your hairstylist don't appreciate you, find another hairstylist. Your esthetician don't appreciate you, find another esthetician. Your husband don't appreciate you, and you told your husband several times, find another husband. Your kids don't appreciate you, stop buying them toys. Stop buying them Roblox. You know? Remove your resources. Your family don't appreciate you and what you bring to the table, stop being available to them. Stop having access to them. Stop answering the phone. Stop going around. If people do not appreciate you and undervalue who you are as a person, and you know that you're personally trying to change yourself, trying to go to the next level and trying to build your own self up, and these people are actively trying to push either pin you in a hole and or make you doubt yourself, remove yourself. That's all I can tell you. Or remove them. Remove myself, or I'm going to remove them. When I have employees who feel like they don't appreciate what I do around here, or they demean the mission, or they poke holes in the ship, or they are not keeping the standards up of the business, that's when it's time for them to exit the boat. Because I'm not going to fight with anybody about a vision that I have going, knowing that my intentions are always to make sure that they are okay. If I was a business owner that didn't care, I would hire 5 and 10 people at once and let the best man win. But I don't do that. I hire one, book them out, hire the next one, book them out, get them booked out. Because I care that they're actually making money. And if people don't appreciate that you care that much when all other business owners and the model is just hire and let the chips fall where they may, remove your resources. And that will give you peace. That's what it's done for me. So we are at the end of our live for today. And I thank you guys so much for joining me and for allowing me to be vulnerable with, see, look, India, right on time. You need to come on? Okay, here I come. For allowing me to be vulnerable with things that I have been through in this industry and just my journey all together as a business owner. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I gotta go to work.